So we've made this point on the show before. Jim Acosta is nothing but a circus. And the proof of that, it exposes the establishment press and the resistance to be phony frauds. Because if they really cared about freedom of the press, they would be screaming about Julian Assange right now, and all those 800 Facebook pages that got just taken down for no reason. That they're not screaming about any of that. They're screaming about poor little CNN. How are they ever going to get access to the White House? So Trump owns them. They're such clowns. And the point is, and Ted Koppel made this point to Brian Stelter from CNN, that you guys love Trump because your ratings are through the roof with Trump. And then Brian Stelter said, well, ratings don't really matter. And a whole room full of journalists laughed at him. That's the guy, that's the watchdog at CNN, completely trying to bullshit everybody. And he's so used to bullshitting, he does it right to people who know better, and he's like, oh, fuck, I forgot. And so, want to see how Trump owns them? Trump called Adam Schiff Adam shit in a tweet. And here's CNN, like a trained fucking seal. Watch this. Watch.
Don't you have a theory, Jimmy?
I have a theory that Trump goes, I'm going to make the CNN guy say whatever I want today, and I'm going to write shit in a tweet, and let's make it watch. Let's watch it. And he's sitting at home with popcorn laughing his goddamn ass off. Watch this.
In a reversal late this afternoon, the White House dropped plans to block Jim Acosta's access to the White House. The judge last week ordered it reinstated for 2 weeks as the case between CNN, the president, and others proceeded.
And we're never going to mention Julian Assange and how we're complete hypocrites. We're never going to bring that up, a real case of a real whistleblower. Jim Acosta never fucking wrote a story in his life, but here we are.
Came word from the White House that the pass would be revoked when those 2 weeks were up, but now they've changed their mind. CNN has dropped the lawsuit, and now the White House says it's come up with new rules on decorum when questioning the president. Speaking of decorum, the president's certainly been busy lately on the old electric Twitter machine. Here's what he said about California Congressman Adam Schiff, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Before I read it, decorum requires a warning. The president misspells the congressman's name, and you could probably tell where this is going. I'm quoting now. So funny to see little Adam shit talking about the fact that acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker.
I just made him say shit.
Are you fucking kidding me? What a pawn. You are such a tool. You are such a tool. Whoever this guy is. What's that guy? You know that? I don't know. What a tool, you little Jake Tapper wannabe. What a tool. Trump is owning you and owning CNN. And don't delude yourself into thinking only right-wingers dislike CNN. The left wing hates you just as much because you're bullshitters and liars and smearers. You smeared this show, you smeared Bernie Sanders, and you got Jake Tapper lying to everybody saying Medicare for all costs more than the system we have right now. You guys are what's wrong with journalism, and Trump owns your ass. He owns your ass, and that's why we have Trump, because you guys are such fucking circus peddlers and incompetents. That's why we have Trump, you piece of it.
So funny to see little, and I'm paraphrasing here.
And the point is also, CNN cannot stop on the lower third, keeps showing shit. They get the biggest kick out of it.
I know.
They can't help themselves.
There it is.
If I had access to Trump's Twitter account, I'd just be like, Farty Pelosi, just to get this guy to say Farty Pelosi.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
And it's like, you say, why are we, how much money and time is being spent on this stupid nonsense? Adam, shit. Oh, I'm going to warn you. We're not talking about Julian Assange, right? We're not talking about Serena Shim. She was a U.S. journalist from Detroit that uncovered that we were funneling ISIS through our bases in Turkey into Syria. Oh, once she whistle blew that information, weird, she had a mysterious car accident that no one's ever investigated.
Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah, they killed her.
How come I don't know about this?
Exactly. I was told by Susie Dawson, who's a whistleblowing New Zealand journalist that's been on this show, that is in an asylum in Russia? Why isn't this fucknut talking about these journalists? Oh, that's right, because he's bought and paid for by the machine.
That's right. He doesn't upset the apple cart. He doesn't rock the boat. He is the boat. CNN is the boat, which is why you'll never get the truth about war or the establishment or progressives or Bernie Sanders or Medicare for all or anything from CNN. So this pretend dichotomy, this pretend situation where we have to protect CNN because Trump is such a meanie is bullshit.
Here's the thing. I feel like Trump's tweets are news and they are insane. But he knows how to manipulate the press to make them just focus on the tweets all day, every day, and they do, like
they
good
do.
little lapdogs. I mean, but it is fucking crazy, right? That he said Adam shit. I mean, so just say the president's fucking nuts. Here's what he tweeted today. Moving on. Like, why is it on? Why is it on roundtables and then bring in the next defense contractor?
They bring
comment.
They bring
on
in
his Twitter.
They bring in Bernstein to fucking talk about this for a half an hour. I'm not
because
kidding.
they're such these ivory tower liberals, right? And they think that they're so smart and they know what Americans want, everything. They think that this is like hurting Trump.
Yes,
that if we just convince everyone that he used a bad word on Twitter, they're not going to want him anymore. But people love
like
this stuff.
this.
His followers
they like
love
this.
it, and he's going to win new people over. I mean, it's just like this is like what got him in, and so to just keep harping on the fact that he's saying crazy stuff about people, well, that's why he got elected, and like no one's going to be convinced. Who's like, it's just a very bizarre strategy. But they really think that they're getting him. They're like, we're getting him by showing
wait till
it.
you
It's like
see
he
this
said
tweet.
it. Obviously, he wants people to see it.
Yeah, I want to find the one Trump supporter. It's like, I really like Trump, but then he tweeted shit, and that was it.
That was it.
I
This
burned my
guy-
MAGA hat.
I mean, he said the worst possible stuff, and it hasn't hurt him at all. Like this is nothing compared to
So
the
this
other
is-
shit he said.
what-
It's
was
like,
it-
but-
He could fuck a puppy on camera and set it on fire, and his supporters would go, woo!
That
He
pup-
could tweet his little toadstool dick out, and no one would care.
No one would care,
No one would
especially
care.
Anthony Weiner. I want to play. I want to play this again because I think it's so ridiculous.
And he really lands the joke. You know, he does a nice little take to the audience. I got to prepare you.
Yeah.
Adam shit.
Yeah.
And then his eyebrow goes up like he's like, huh, did you catch that? I'm like, wouldn't you think that they would say like, hey, let's just show the tweet. Why do we have to show
Right.
the anchorman? The anchorman loves it. Okay. You ready, JD?
And let me just remind people that when Trump tells Jim Acosta, "You're a rude person, shut up and sit down," that doesn't hurt him electorally. That makes the people who vote for him do cartwheels. Just like if Bernie Sanders told Jake Tapper, "Hey, Jake, why don't you sit down and quit lying about Medicare? You're rude." I would go through the roof.
Through the roof.
I would go through. I would never stop screaming, "Hooray!"
Well, what would we do if Tulsi Gabbard, when she was like, "Why are we going into Syria?" and like Howard Dean or some journalist like that, and she went, "Hey, I had friends die over there. Shut your mouth.
Right.
I'm a combat vet. You candy ass CNN person.
Yes.
Shut it right now. I don't want any more bullshit wars for the oil companies that buy ad time on your fucking
People would
ridiculous."
go nuts for that.
I would line up for her. I would follow her through fire if she did that.
I couldn't agree with you more. Let's listen to asswipes one more time. Man.
Adam Schiff, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Before I read it, decorum requires a warning. The president misspells the congressman's name, and you could probably
He's like,
tell
everyone
where this
brace
is going.
yourself. Get
I'm
your
quoting
fainting
now.
couches out.
So funny to see little Adam shit talking about the fact that acting attorney general
my
Matt
God.
Whitaker was not
I will
approved by
never
the
vote for
Senate,
Trump.
not mentioning the fact that Bob Mueller, who is highly conflicted, was
This is really a segment they're doing. Can you ignore his tweets for a day? He said shit.
Well, it's like what Abby said. They should go, the president's out of his mind. He said Adam shit. Meanwhile, people still have neurological damage from contaminated water in Flint, Michigan. That's what the goddamn news story
Hey,
should
the
be.
president swore again on Twitter today. And by the way, there's no real opposition to him.
Yeah. Like, exactly. And if you want to get his supporters to flip, go, Trump said shit. And guess what? He doesn't want you to have health care.
Right.
He doesn't want you to have $15 an hour.
And he doesn't want to end the wars.
No, he's glad that 22 vets a day killed themselves fighting these bullshit oil wars. That's what this fucknut should do. But you know who paid for his little purple candy ass tie? Fucking Boeing and ExxonMobil. That's who paid for his fucking stupid tie. So he's got to go brace yourself for some bad words, everyone.
Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice when we drop a video. Thanks for your support.